Hey y'all, this is JR, one half of the R&B representative. Shout out to my sister Naturally Elise, and this is the 25th episode of JR's Motown Life. Now, the song that I will be discussing on this episode is Gladys Knight and the Pips. Neither one of us wants to be the first to say goodbye. I guess neither one of us wants to be the first to say goodbye. I keep on wondering. Oh Lord, don't get me started. Let's get this started. So this song was released on December 1972. It was number one on the R&B charts. It was number two on the pop charts. It was written by Jim Weatherly and produced by Joe Porter. Um, it's a lot that went into this song, y'all, and I'm really ready to get into it because this song actually made Gladys Knight become my favorite female vocalist of all time. So let's get into this. So they were working on what would be their last album with Motown, which was entitled Neither One of Us. And Joe Porter was actually producing the album. So he was going through songs and things like that, and he found Jim Weatherly's publishing, and he found Neither One of Us. And he let Gladys and the Pips hear it, and they loved it. They was like, okay, cool. So they recorded it, added a little background to it, which Gladys did it in one take, y'all. She did it in one take, was done. You know what I mean? So they were going from LA to Detroit. So they were in the car and they really liked the songs and they was really working on it and things. It was like, I think we need to add some more backgrounds to it. So they went back to the studio, they added more backgrounds to it, and Gladys actually re-recorded her verse, her whole leads, and that's what we actually hear. And it was done, and there we go. But this is kind of a sad, bittersweet kind of thing because Gladys Knight and the Pips was actually renegotiating their contract, but it didn't fall through. So they went and actually signed with Buddha Records. So Motown actually had already released it because I guess they thought that Gladys and them was gonna stay. And they didn't. So they went on to Buddha and they started recording over there. So Buddha released the single Where Peaceful Waters Flow. So Motown was being petty. So then they started adding more behind Neither One of Us, and it really started to climb the charts because they were blocking Where Peaceful Waters Flow. So it was like Gladys and them had to kind of get on it and start singing it because I mean it started really being a big record, even though they was on another label, but the song really started doing good for them. But what Motown knows since to understand, they were trying to block it, but they actually helped Gladys and them at Buddha because the next single that came out from Buddha was Midnight Train to Georgia, which was also written by James Weatherly. So at the end of the day, Motown thought they were blocking, their success at Buddha, but they was actually helping it by doing that. So it's neither here nor there. That's why I say it's bittersweet because it actually was Gladys and them biggest song after I heard it through the grapevine, and that was in 1967. So it's crazy, even though they was on the label for 6 more years after that. And they finally got a big record, but they were leaving, but they became bigger stars over there at Buddha. You know what I mean? But my story is how Gladys became my favorite vocalist from this song. So I'm like 5 years old. My mom was going to South Carolina State University, and every Friday, the the school would have a station where they played nothing but Motown. So I'm in my room playing my Super Nintendo. My mom is blasting the music, and neither one of us comes on. And y'all, I dropped my controller and I looked at my mom and I ran out and said, Yo, who is this? And my mom was like, That's Gladys Knight, baby. I was like, Oh my God, it's something about her voice that just touched my spirit that nobody can touch. And I mean, nobody but her. So that's how this song and Gladys became my favorite singer of all time. Um, but with neither one of us, you had like 19 people that covered it. Actually, Gladys and them covered it because Jim Weatherly actually recorded it. And I mean, he wrote it and recorded it, and that came out first, and then Gladys and them came out. But after that, Joe Simon did it, Sister Sledge did it, and Johnny Mathis actually did it. So those are the ones that I actually know. And then there's over 49 people that covered, not covered, but sampled this. And the most famous one I think everybody knows is Angie Stone's Neither One of Us. Not neither one of us. No more rain in this cloud. She actually come, she did that, and you just know, like as soon as it comes on, you're like, oh, okay, there we go. You know what I mean? But this song is just a big, big record for Gladys Knight and the Pips, even though it was with Motown and they had their biggest success at Buddha. But this is still a record that Gladys has to perform, like has to. So when I saw her live, she performed this, and y'all, I was just a boo-hooing and just crying. So this song really, really means a lot to me. And even though I know Gladys how Gladys feel about Motown, but at the end of the day, it was still on Motown and it was a big song. So y'all had to give y'all a little bit of that. It was very fun to talk about this song because y'all can see how personal it is to me and all that good stuff. But after all that being said, hopefully I will see you guys on the next episode of JR's Motown Life. Peace.